Africa Update on Channel Africa.
All right, Unathi Batyashe in for Lulu Gabu. Let's continue on this now. On the 25th of August, Channel Africa will be hosting a webinar exploring Africa's digital future, innovation and technology, a global conversation that really seeks to redefine innovation from a uniquely African perspective. As part of the recognition of International Youth Month, Channel Africa is placing the spotlight on the rapid adoption of artificial intelligence or AI and its impact on Africa's youth. With the continent home to the world's youngest population, young Africans are no longer simply participating in the AI revolution. They are increasingly driving and shaping it. Now, the webinar will examine how AI and also emerging technologies are transforming opportunities for young Africans while exploring the challenges, skills and policies needed to ensure that the continent's youth are at the forefront of Africa's digital future. For more on this, we are now joined in studio by the South African Broadcasting Corporation's Group Executive Technology, Dr Vuyo Nyembezi. Doctor, very good afternoon to you. So good to see you on this part of the world. So exciting times then happening on the 25th of August. So give us a sense then in terms of, firstly, why it was important, to redefine innovation from a uniquely African, perspective. We are focusing on driving factors behind the choice of Africa's digital future. Give us a sense in what made you, come up with this webinar. Why is it so important, and also driving that African element to it?
Good afternoon, Unathi, and thanks for inviting me today. And of course, good afternoon to our listeners across the globe, because Channel Africa is not just an African a platform, it's universal and it's worldwide. Yes, indeed, this is exciting times for us. AI is already been recognized globally, and it's everywhere. In your tools that you have, it's there. But for us broadcasters, it brings unique opportunities. Hence, I always say it's no longer a future concept for the broadcasters, but it is already reshaping the whole broadcast chain, from content discovery to how we package our content and how we offer to our listeners, both from a television and a radio perspective. And to some extent, even the distribution channels that we have, they also offer that opportunity. So it's actually a unique opportunity for South Africans and the Africa at large that we tap on this, and the shift on its own, it means that it's no longer just a technology initiative, but it becomes central to your strategy as a broadcaster, and it becomes that catalyst for you just to ensure that the offer that you give to your audiences, it brings mainly the youth, but it also ensures that the people are able to access what they want through those recommendations.
And I mean, we've got a key focus, and that is on the youth. So when you consider the fact that this continent is home, to the world's youngest population, there's so many questions that arise to it, the future of AI in Africa. So take us through that plan then. I mean, could AI essentially help address, some of Africa's biggest challenges? Or are we at risk of adopting technologies that were developed primarily for Western markets? And therein lies then those opportunities for the youth, I would imagine. They always say making technology work by Africans for Africans.
Before I get into the youth, Unathi, I just want to touch on the challenges that we have faced as Africans, the whole as broadcasters in Africa. The inclusion. That's the first thing, because language is always a barrier. Then AI is able to break those barriers, and it created that inclusion, the multi-language access. then of course the people that we're targeting the most with the offerings that bring personalization, recommendation, that are AI driven is the youth, because they are no longer following us on the linear platforms where in the olden days people, our fathers and uncles will carry radio, and now the radio is in the palm of your hand, and for youth they want to listen to it when they want to listen to it. And even for the television element, they want to watch it when they want to watch it. So now the AI brings those recommendation, personalization. It creates a different spin on the offer. But mainly the inclusion, that's where the translation comes in. It gets to be translated into different languages. Then it means everybody now has got an opportunity. Yeah. Especially in the African continent.
Yeah, let's close off our conversation by talking about the SABC's own digital transformation. Where is the public broadcaster in terms of its own digital transformation journey? We talk about streaming, what we are also doing now, and then of course artificial intelligence in newsrooms, content distribution. We spoke earlier on about sometimes we forget to see the bigger picture when we speak about AI, and we quickly jump to that conclusion of job losses, etc. But when there's so much opportunity here too, it tells a completely different story.
Correct, because for SABC, where we are positioned now, we are at an advantage as well, because we have a broad mandate to inform, to educate, and to entertain. All those elements will leverage AI to ensure that we deliver to our audiences, and it improves efficiencies as well from the worker's point of view. I know there is a fear that is coming to take our work. For me, that's not the case. And that's one element that we'll be touching on during the webinar. Yeah. The element that says it's on the leaders to ensure that they articulate and they present a proposition that says human will always be at the center of AI. Absolutely. And I think in the language they call it human in the loop. You use AI to do all the heavy lifting. Then the human become the supervisor of those tools. So that's the angle that we are taking, and as the SABC we are already starting to implement some of those tools. And lastly, the key element is to ensure that we still restore public trust, and to do that you need to ensure that your security, cyber security element is also tight, so that there cannot be fakes or fake content, or fake news around you. So you ensure the whole value chain of newsroom to cybersecurity is strengthened. So that's where we are, and I think that as African broadcasters, it will be key to ensure that those fake are not there, or misinformation and disinformation. Yeah. So we need then to use AI ethically, and the adoption should be deliberate. It should not be a by the way. Yeah. So it's all about the responsible use of AI.
Doc, I think you've summarized 1 hour essentially of that webinar into 10 minutes. So well done to you. But we have run out of time. But thank you so much for just giving us that teaser then in terms of what to expect. So on the 25th of August, the webinar on Channel Africa, of course, from 10 to 11 a.m. Central Africa time. Channel Africa will be hosting that webinar exploring Africa's digital future, innovation and technology. Interesting times. Thank you so much, Doc. So that was the SABC's Group Executive Technology, Dr Vuyo Nyembezi.
This Women's Month, we lift our voices